jam.
What's going on, folks?
Yes.
Welcome back to the No Home Thoughts podcast. We're your host, Ra.
It's Bri.
And on today's episode, we're going to ask a question about the black community.
Yes.
And what is your biggest problem that you have with the black community? So, out of anything you can choose from, any problems you have, what is the biggest problem you would say you have?
What's up, Chanel? Damn, long time no see. Chanel.
What's going on, Chanel? I would say my biggest problem with the black community would have to be, how do I put this? Complacency.
Okay.
I think a lot of people within the community are content with where they're at and knowing there's a whole other level they can get to. And they don't do what they need to do to get the education, or they don't have the drive to get to the next level. So
right.
Just being in, this isn't for anybody in particular, but just being on Section 8 and food stamps and, everything else and getting by just like that is cool for some, and they stay in that position. They don't want to be homeowners, and now granted, homeowning isn't for everyone, but to literally want to pay somebody else's mortgage for the rest of your life and live off of Uncle Sam when they can cut it off at any point in time,
right.
I don't see how you can live like that.
We got one to say black women are not protected is my biggest problem. That's true. That's true. I mean, if we talk about as a whole, black women is not protected like.
Well, that's another one of my problems. I don't like the divisiveness within the black community, because it's like black men aren't protected either. I don't think we should look at either side and be like we both in an effed up situation, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. Black men and women.
No, that's true.
The world is against both of us. So instead of dividing and being like, oh, black women, we as a people are the reason for that. Because it's not just black men that are against black women, it's other black women.
Right.
So it's like us as a people are divided. I might have to change my answer from complacency to division within our community. That's my biggest problem.
Yeah, that was definitely mine.
I'm gonna have to say it. I saw a post the other day that pissed me off. It was some chick put it. Let me try to get it the right way. It was basically, she was saying, there's a book. I wish I had the name of the book, because I was supposed to look it up. I was scrolling through. I was like, I'm gonna look it up later. So I apologize for not looking it up at the time. But basically, it's a book, and it's basically about colorism. So the book was made to basically say it's ingrained in us for us as men to like the light-skinned woman over the light-skinned black woman over the dark-skinned black woman. And my issue with that is, it's a black woman.
Right.
Doesn't matter if she's light-skinned or not. Like, if I have a light-skinned wife, what difference does it make that she's light-skinned? She's a black woman. Why do we have to separate each other that much? I'm married to a black woman. It's that simple.
Right. Well, when you say that, it's not that. It's just that the lighter you are, the better, the more that you accept it. I think that's like the biggest thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but I have no control over my skin color.
No.
How people perceive me as being light skinned.
That's true. But that's that light skin, dark skin thing. You know what I mean? Like, the darker you are, at one point in time, it was like you ugly. Like, people didn't think dark skin was pretty. People didn't think curly hair was pretty. I mean, you had to have your hair straight.
But that's the black community's fault for feeding into that, because that comes from comes from slave times.
That's true.
And like I said, you have, just like we supposed to accept people for being born any type of way, any type of defect, any type of whatever they like, you have zero control over your parents, your skin color, your height. You have zero control over that. How come we're not going at each other for, somebody being tall. We don't attack whether you tall or short. Well, you get short jokes, but it's the color of your skin is such a big deal within the community, and it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, that's true. AJ said she texting right now. She
got stuck.
No, she said she just had a rough day. She home.
Okay.
But yo, what up? For me, not to jump off topics, I just wanted to get to mine. Mm-hmm. I just think that when it comes to the black community, just before I pass it, somebody said violence in the black community. For me, it's just that, damn, when Ross said complacent, it kind of had me thinking, like, because nobody seems like they want better. Everybody kind of like settle for what they pretty much what they given. But I would have to say, because it's so many different things, so it's just like kind of hard like to actually put something on the top one. You know what I mean? Like the very, very top one. So I might have to say, damn, that's tough. I mean, because like, oh my God.
Yeah, a lot of people are content. That's why I say complacency, because it's like if we want to compete with other people within the world, we can't be happy getting the scraps. You can't be happy, just living, just making it, just getting by. Not having life insurance, not having certain things that are going to create generational wealth and put your children in a better position. Like how many people grew up with bills in their name?
Right.
And when your parents passed or whoever passed, those bills were in your name. Your credit was messed up instead of them leaving you something.
Yeah, let me tell you something, man. Man, it's just so hard to say, because when you think about the black community, you think about the violence. Mm-hmm. You're thinking about you know what? This is what I'm gonna say. I think in the black community, the problem is that, for me, is that everybody think that they owe something. We're not owed anything. Like, and that's where come complacency. Like, so if you don't have to get welfare. I mean, if you need it, that's something totally different. But just because the government do allow you to get, like, they offer you welfare or whatever, that don't mean like stay on it. You know what I mean? Forever, mm-hmm. Unless you know what I mean? Of course, like if you need it. And then, like we have a lot of like, let's just say like small, I don't like saying small. We have a lot of black businesses out, and it's just like you looking for that support, but you not giving your best. Like it's just like, for instance, I went to a restaurant, a black owned restaurant, and I said, can I get some, I think it was lamb. They said, oh no, I'm sorry, sir, we don't have any lamb. So I said, oh, okay. It was about 6 or 7 meats on the menu. I said, can I get some lamb? The lady said, no, we don't have any lamb. So I said, okay, well, can I get some duck? She said, I'm sorry, sir, we don't have any duck. So I said, okay, well, let me try your turkey wings. She was like, let me go check in the back and make sure that we have turkey wings. So she came back out and said, well, we don't have turkey wings. So it's about 6 or 7 things on the menu. Now at this point, I'm sitting there saying to myself, well, okay, you don't have anything that I want on the menu. So now it's like I'm going to my 4th option. Now I'm coming to black to support you, and then now you telling me I have to choose to my 4th option. Okay, now here we go. So I told her, I said, well, let's do this better. Tell me what you have. Instead of giving me a menu and telling me to order off the menu, just tell me what you have.
Chicken.
There you go. That's all I had. So now, if I make a review talking about that company, why would people would hate me because of that? Because you talking about the black businesses, you trying to run them down. No, I would do the same thing if it was Chick-fil-A. I would do Cheesecake Factory, wherever. If I give a review, I'm going to be honest. For me, instead of giving a review, I just didn't do nothing at all. I just tell my story, and of course I'm not going, say their name out, shout them out or whatever. But it was that's disgusting. But most people feel like we have to give you that. Now, granted that I feel like that, black folk in our community, we supposed to be treated fair. Yeah, of course. But at the same time, we already know that we behind the 8 ball. I said this on one of the podcasts before. We already behind the 8 ball. And what we need to understand is we're going to have to work harder than other people. Y'all know what I'm saying? You can't say everything on Facebook because they will remove you. Like, other people don't have to work as much as us. And we're not teaching hate, we teaching truth. So when other people, only got to give 70%, we can't come in there with 70%. We can't even come in there with 100%. We got to come in there with 150%.
Yeah, go above and
you know what I mean? We see that all just too often.
That's just to catch up.
That's just to catch. That's just to pull in for the interview or whatever it is. So it's just like at some point, like, we just need to man up and we need to just take it. Like, because now, granted, we know that is wrong, but what you gonna do? Everybody not standing with each other. So it's just like, what you gonna do? So now what we need to do is create our own jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you can't do nothing about that right there. You can't get welfare, or if you do, you know what I mean? Like, you can't help your community being on welfare. Let's be honest. But you can help your community by creating a business, creating opportunities for other people in your community. Do things in your community, build up the kids. I mean, it don't have to be. It's so many nonprofit organizations that. I mean, we don't even have to. It don't even have to be funded as far as like we working to get a paycheck. Those things, those little organizations help your community out. I mean, bring notice to the community and allow things to start, shaking and moving.
You got a comment that sometimes people don't have the proper guidance. That's true.
That's a fact. But we keep saying that. That's the thing. That's the thing about what kind of like pisses me off a lot, because we keep saying like the proper guy. So who was guiding Frederick Douglass? You know what I mean? Like, off of what he had to go through, who was guiding him? Who was guiding Barack Obama? No, he went out and made it happen. And then this was the outcome.
She followed up because she liked somebody's comment and she said that's what she meant as far as guidance. Because Chanel said the self-hate being passed down to us from generations.
Right.
Some of us know we have the power to change, and some of us just stick with what they know. It's learned behavior.
You know something? Just think about this. It goes back to materialistic things. We put more importance into materialistic things as far as like vehicles, jewelry, clothes, shoes, whatever. You know what I mean? So now people want to get that. Like, as far as your community, that's what you showing the people that's in your community, people that's attached to you. You know what I mean? As far as the rap, I mean, I absolutely love rap, but at the same time, what are they promoting?
I be sitting there thinking sometimes, like, y'all making these millions of dollars and y'all doing this retarded stuff with it. Like,
right.
You're talking about you getting jewels embedded in your face, spending millions of dollars on that. Like, you are retarded. And it's like, and they that's what they want. That's what these, I gotta watch what I say. That's what these record companies want. They want to promote these artists that look like us, that are going to keep us these generational curses. Why the hell would you put a jewel in your face? What does that do?
I seen that. Matter of fact,
what is wrong with you?
I'm looking at it, and I'm just, to each his own.
No, to each is not his own. To each is not his own. That's the reason why we still stuck in the slums, because of this idiot.
Right. Well, I mean, but then when you look at a lot of people chase the wrong things. You know what I mean? And we, like I said, we keep making excuses. We can make. All right, I said this off the air before, but we had this thing going on. It was like the blackout or something like that some time ago, and what the blackout was supposed to shut down, like nobody don't buy nothing from like Walmart and do all this other stuff. We couldn't do it. How much we can control? I remember one time my pastor said, how we could shut banks down. It was a study that showed we could shut a bank down if nobody bounced checks. I said, so I'm sitting up there. I never even did no research. Because it's just that like kind of hurt a little bit. You know what I mean? You talking about a bounce check. That building is staying open for a bounce check. So a bounce check is only when you don't have something. Yeah. When you don't have the money.
I don't know if it was one bank in particular or all the banks all together. It was something a couple years ago where it was like the overdraft fees that were paid from a certain bank or all the banks together was in the billions or something like that.
Come on, that's crazy.
That's a lot of money.
That's crazy.
That's a lot. That's a whole lot of money.
I mean, we missing it by a long shot.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, when things, like when you hear people talking, like I said to you before, I DM Wallow, and I said to Wallow, I said, why is it that someone that go to jail, I mean, shout outs to Wallow, but I said, well, why is it that people get all the praise and people listen to the people that been to jail and that live the street life, but then when you have people that's doing the right thing and never took the street life approach and they successful, why people not clinging on to like that? Because like if I don't have nobody on top of my head right now, but you start talking about just use Barack Obama. You know what I mean? He did the right things in life. Like he didn't, obviously he wasn't a drug dealer that was known anyway. If he was able to make it, like why people don't want to be more like Barack Obama? Why would it be people that's following, let's just say, I listen to him, but let's just say like Lil Durk. You know what I mean? What's the point of following somebody like that? Why Lil Durk would have a larger following than Barack Obama? He was the head of our country at one point, and he was a black man. But like I said before, we promote things like when somebody want to be a cop or something like that. We promote in our neighborhoods, don't be a snitch. They done shot a 6-year-old girl in the head in your neighborhood. You don't want to be a snitch.
And broad daylight.
Broad daylight.
What was it? 8 people got shot at Broad Nominee.
Yeah, Broad Nominee. That was great. I mean, come on. Nobody not gonna say nothing.
3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Nope. Nobody not gonna say anything. We just go ahead and just say, oh no, the police ain't gonna protect us, and then we're gonna just move on. But hey, but then when we talk about no holder thoughts, when we talk about real life issues that goes on in our community, not some made up stuff. We talk about scenarios that happen, and then we break it down as far as, because it's not like we Hollywood or anything. We still in the same neighborhoods that everybody else is in. Then we start talking about those things, and then it's just like people not entertained by it. But then you get somebody that's Desperate Housewives or Bad Girls Club or
Real Hip Hop Housewives or
all that crap. They you could tune into that, and that stuff is make believe. That stuff is not even really going on right where you at. We can. It's not like like I said, it's not like we sit right here and we say that. Oh yeah, well Rob got all the answers.
As soon as the numbers drop, there's a fight on the show. I've never seen the show, but I can guarantee you.
Right.
As soon as they look at the numbers on how the last episode went, there's gonna be a fight or some kind of controversy on the show, because that's what they promoting.
She said nobody not gonna snitch because nobody not trying to be killed. But this the thing.
People getting killed anyway.
But that's what I was about to say. Tell me this. What you willing to die for? What you willing to die for? That's point blank period. If you're not willing to die for the cause, like as far as like building your family, building your community, building your culture, what you living for?
Yeah, there's got to be something or someone you willing to die for, like without any questions asked.
I mean, and I get it. Like truthfully, I get it. Like you don't want to bring yourself, you don't want to have nothing to do with nothing. But when we gonna take control of this? You know what I mean?
But as long as we have that attitude, things ain't gonna get solved. Nothing's gonna get solved by just being. But what's the definition of insanity?
Right.
If we keep on saying, you know what, I don't want nothing to do with that because I don't want nobody labeling me as a snitch or whatever. I mean, you still have every right to protect yourself, whether they call you a snitch or not.
Right.
And nobody who got shot in that shooting over in Broad Downey, for what we know, was snitching or anything. It was just two gunmen, from what I've read, and they was out in broad daylight acting a fool.
Right. Y'all make sure y'all like and share. Y'all make sure.
Not prejudice.
Y'all,
somebody said.
Yeah, they definitely not prejudiced. Y'all make sure y'all like and share. Like and share.
She blatantly asked us, "Well, we snitches, we knew."
Knew, like, as far as like a 6 year, I'm telling. You know what I mean? I'm telling. If you talking about a 6-year-old, they got to do that time. Or as far as, and it all depends on what it is. I can't just stand there and just wait for the police either.
Yeah,
that's two totally different things. Now you got one, like, well, the police want to know, what he have on, or who the person is, and then another thing is, if I'm standing there, am I going to allow it to happen? I don't think I will allow it to happen. I mean, because I just can't just watch. No, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't have to be the one that's shooting back,
but
I can grab the kid, or you know what I mean?
What I'm say about that is everybody who has a gun should be properly trained. I'm just say that. Don't just get a gun and be acting crazy with it. But a lot of these times, if you notice, with all these shootings, they ain't getting shot back at.
Right.
That's kind of the reason all this is happening, because the bullets is going one way and they ain't got nothing to worry about. Cause guarantee you, if they had to duck a couple, they wouldn't be as brazen as they are. So that's part of the problem. But I'm not saying go out and grab a gun and stuff like that. I'm definitely not saying that.
Right.
I'm just saying
right.
Things would be different if people were willing to protect themselves at all times,
right,
at all costs.
And I mean, and that's the thing. Like, you got to protect the people. You know what I mean? And like I said, like I want to be clear and straight. You don't have to protecting somebody. That don't mean you have to shoot somebody. Protecting somebody could mean pulling them in the way, taking them out of harm's way, taking a bullet yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's protecting somebody.
There was a promising young football player. I can't remember exactly where it was from, but I remember seeing this where somebody was shooting and there was like kids around, and he ended up covering up the kids while the bullets were coming. He ended up losing his life because of that, but he was willing to die for something.
Oh, right. I think I remember that story.
Yeah, he was an up-and-coming football player, one of the stars of the team, and violence was happening, and he jumped into action.
See, my thing is, like, and we talked about this before. Back in the day, like when we was going to school, I told my kids this. They don't believe me. I said, our teachers used to hit us. Our teachers used to hit us. And it's not to say, I'm not saying right, wrong, whatever, but it kept us in line. You know what I'm saying? Like, your parent didn't need to be over top of you. We was being disciplined in school as far as like, standing in the back of the room, standing on one leg, hold a book, you know what I mean? Do jumper jacks, run laps, like that type of stuff. But they taking that stuff out of the schools because of fear, you know what I mean? Being sued, stuff like that. Like, all that stuff is being taken out of the schools now. But let me tell you something. Go back to that. Them teachers is able to put their hands on the students.
The students gonna swing back.
But the thing about it is, at least they know like you ain't gonna just be able to do whatever you want.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like the teachers, I done seen teachers as
She
like,
don't agree. As a teacher, she said she don't agree.
hey. So she a teacher now, right? She a teacher now.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, why is it getting way out of control? You only can teach one class at a time. So why is it going way out of control? Back then, why is we sitting up here as far as saying that we 80 babies coming up in the 90s as far as being in school? Why was a different spin on everything? Why we had certain levels of respect to a degree. Like, I know this kind of sound like dumb. I know, like all kids, we cursed when we was little. But kids didn't curse on Sundays. Kids wouldn't harm an older person. You got to beat them by your neighbors, your teachers, anybody that was in the neighborhood. Now, I'm not saying, I don't know if it worked. But I do know it was a different level of structure back when we was growing up. Now you can't test the kids. As far as parents, the parents can't test the kids. The teachers can't test the kids. Even now, good police can't test like a criminal or a kid or whatever. Because they don't want to be in trouble or lose their job or be sued or whatever else. So now what? What are you saying? So what works? Tell me what works. Because obviously we see right now, at this point in time, it's not working. Father's been absent in these kids' lives long time ago. 80 babies, I said plenty of times. I don't know too many people that was born in the 80s. Most of the people that I know is born in the 80s. None of us had fathers.
She's saying, where are the mentors? Now, she said children require mentors and positive role models. And they also require discipline.
Listen, let me tell you something. The role models back then, I'm like what I'm saying, they would get a little physical with you. Hey man, sit the hell down. You know what I mean? Lift your head up. They can talk to you. They can grip you up. They can't do that no more because of the backlash that they're gonna get. One guy, I don't know if y'all remember this. He was black. The girl was white. He was trying to teach her to do a split. And he was pushing her down to the ground. Man, that dude, man, they death threats and everything. He was a black teacher that was teaching, I think they was cheerleaders or some type of dance crew or whatever. I don't remember. But they was pushing. And, no, I'm not just saying.
She said beating makes you more aggressive.
That's not true. I'm not aggressive. I got beat. I was beat by teachers, by my parents, by my grandparents. I'm not aggressive. You sit here talking to a bird, and I wasn't raised with no male figure in my household. So what are you talking about? Like that's not true. You looking at a living proof, and I can put plenty of guys that can sit here and say the same thing. Rob.
Yeah.
He got, I don't know how many beatings you received, but you know what I mean? But you sit here looking at two legit guys, single moms. You know what I mean? Beatings do work.
And literally as you said that, somebody put beatings don't work no more.
Yeah, because I don't know. You know what I mean? Beatings do work.
Nah, we're not saying that should be the standard.
No, that's not a standard. But
what we're saying is, look. Oh, all right, Ms. Rashida, can we agree, yes or no, that there's definitely a different level of respect that we, the older generations, people who are, I would say, 30 something and up, have for anybody than they do 25 and down. Can we at least agree on that? And I would say that our generation, you can still beat these kids and they'll still do the same stuff over and over. I don't know about that.
That's a lie. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you, you talking to somebody that got whoopings. You know what I mean? I got beatings. I'm not saying that I stopped doing it, like whatever it was, but at the same time, it kept me from a certain level of trouble. I didn't want to sell drugs. I didn't want to get locked up. I didn't want to do anything that was bad enough for me to get. Listen, when I did do bad things, this the God's honest truth. When I did do bad things, and I had to run, I never worry about who I'm running from. I worry about my mom finding out. That was the God's honest truth, because you know what's going to happen. But all those things that I was getting in trouble for made me who I am today and kept me on the straight path.
She said it wasn't about beatings, it was about the level of community support. I don't know. I don't know what level of community support there was. I can't attest to that. But someone else says, back in the day, it was a village. Kids were respectful and they feared doing nut stuff in front of their neighbors. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Listen, I told you, I got snatched off my aunt. Oh my God, man. My aunt snatched me off the back of an ice cream truck. Just snatched me. I was jumping. She snatched me off and then walked me around. It's my aunt on my father's side. But it was like, it wasn't even a question. My mom said, oh, what happened? This is what she said. And then guess what? You on punishment and you're going to get another whooping. I didn't hop back on that ice cream truck because I got 2 whoopings.
That was enough.
And you know what? And truth be told, people don't even know this. I'm about to tell you, I never been suspended. I got suspended one time for playing cracksies in elementary school. When I got in high school, I got in some trouble, but it was because of like the swiping thing. Like when you swipe in and out, whatever, like at some point, if you don't swipe, then you get suspended or something like that. But I never got suspended because I knew my mom had to bring me back. My mom only took me to school one time. One. And as we was walking there, she said, I ain't coming back up here. And if I had to,
that's your ass, Mr. Postman.
She ain't had to say no more. And if I had to, and if I got to, come on. The community changed when they took a certain level of discipline out. Man, you be seeing these guys, they walking around here, what's the thing called? Flash mob. They punching, oh my God. I just seen the thing. Me and my daughter was just watching this court cam, and this guy went to jail, right? He get locked up for assault, right? He punched, they was arguing in the bar. The guy finished his beer, and he took off to go hit this guy. This dude was probably like 20, I would say about 26, 24 to 26. He punched the guy in the face. He was 64 years old. He punched him. Boom! The guy fall, hit the ground. I mean, he melted. He went straight down. And the dude got his hands up in the air like, yeah, it only took one punch. They got him on audio. They got the video. Guess what? That dude died. That 60-year-old man, that 64-year-old man, he died. And that dude he had to serve, I think they gave him 40 years. Now that's just a simple point. Back in the day, you knew not to do stuff like that. It was always rules. Nah, you don't mess with old people.
You definitely don't.
You knew not to mess with old people. They ain't had to have grandkids that was your age. Yeah. They ain't had to have, like the gangster in the neighborhood.
It was just a level of grandkids.
You already knew that. I don't know. I mean, for me, I think it got out of hand because the drugs change. You know what I mean? You got different types of drugs now.
No, I will agree with this person. They said nowadays kids don't have fear of their parents. They are friends with their children nowadays. And that is the issue. You can't be friends with your kids. You can be friendly with your kids.
Hold on. But the problem is, if you only 12 years older than your son, you know what I mean? If you 12 years older than your son, of course. Now, granted, I'm only 18 years older than my daughter. I mean, but I was raised different. I'm old school with it.
But at the same time, that's still a significant age difference.
Yeah, it is.
10 to 12 years.
Yeah.
And I think a lot has to do with where you stand on that. What do you want your child to be? Depending on what you want your child to be, that's how you're gonna raise them. Because if you want them to be a success, you know you can't be their friend. You can't smoke with them. You can't. You can't. No, if you gonna smoke, I want you to smoke with me. Now whatever logic that is, I don't know, but I just don't agree with it. Where are the rules at?
Yeah, I'm not with that.
Yo, well, bro, I'm gonna holler at you, man. Me and my dad about to go smoke real quick.
Yeah, I'm not.
How does that sound?
That I mean, me passing.
Yo, you coming with us? You and your mom want to come smoke with me and my dad?
I'm a pass a blunt. I'm not even smoking with your dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? I'm not even smoking with your dad. Like, why? Like, I don't, because it changed. Like, it shift based off of who raising these kids.
What won't I do after I just smoke the L with you? Where am I going to be like, nah, I can't do that. I can't. You're not going to curse at your mom, right?
Yeah.
No matter how.
That's what I was about to say.
You're not going to curse at your mom, right? No matter what she do.
Never. But you know, I see a lot of people do that now.
I mean, yeah.
I'm talking about people that I'm cool with. I don't curse around my mom.
Yeah.
I don't curse around my mom. And I'm as grown as it can be. But at the same time, I would say, if it was a story that I'm trying to tell her, and it's supposed to say A, I'm going to say but. So even, that's part of the reason why, because my mom be watching. Like, I don't even, like, most of the time I'm careful because my mom be watching. You know what I mean? Like, that's the God's honest truth. Like, I have that much respect. Like, I don't, like, these kids don't have that respect. But at the same time, for me, I teach my kids to have respect. That's like, I don't play with kids that don't have respect for the elders. I never been, this is just me. This is me. And everybody that know me know this is who I am. When you just have a baby or is a kid around, I don't play with these kids. I don't play with your kids. I don't sit up there and be like, oh, let me hold them and all that. I don't do that. You know what I mean? That's not me. If they want to play like a game or something, I'm a part of that. Because the reason why, because I'm not the one that's, if a kid disrespect me, I'm going to check him. And I'm going to check the parent. And I don't care who you is. And it could be somebody that I'm cool with. If your kid get out of line, I'm going to put them in line. I'm not one of them people that's going to walk away from a kid being disrespectful. I mean, I'm going to say what I need to say. I ain't going to put my hands on them. You know what I mean? I ain't doing all that. But I'm going to say, go get your parents or whatever. And I'm going to just say, yo, you don't need to be doing this.
Don says, it starts at home. Please check your kids at home, family. Some stuff will change. And then Chanel said, these kids learning a lot these days from social media. True. A lot of parents aren't parenting as they were back in the day. They're definitely sticking their kids in front of a tablet or something like that.
Right.
And back in the day, they just stick them in front of TV. I should have just kept on reading. So I said something. Or hand them an iPad to get them out their face.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm guilty of that.
I mean, but it's a certain extent. Like, some of them, that's all they do. That's all they know.
No, that's not
like,
what
I've seen it before where, you know, the tablet or something died. The kid is crying all over the place and everything.
No,
throwing a tantrum like, oh, what's going on? Oh, your tablet died. And they're like, all right, take my phone.
Right. See, no, we don't. I'm not doing all that. No,
you can't placate to your kids all the damn time.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta. Hey, listen, you gonna sit there. You gonna read a book.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. Put a book set in your house. Tell little Timmy to read a damn book.
You know what?
You know every lyric to a rap song.
Right.
But he can't effing read.
But you know something? Dr. Umar, I think his last name Johnson. Mm-hmm. Dr. Umar Johnson. Damn, I should have known that. And he said, that was the first thing that he said. He said it was a class full of kids, and he told them, why is it that he told them to play a cop, play a robber. And then he said play to be success. And they all just sit there. They was like, he said let me go into your house and I can tell you where your kid gonna be at. He said, I walked in one lady's house, I didn't see not one book. I said, wow. Not one book. Not one book in the house. But you see TVs, video games.
And that goes for the parent and the child.
No, that's true. That's true. I'm not gonna lie, like for me, like when I was coming up, I didn't read like that. Like it wasn't like I never sat in the house and read. Hell with that, bro. It was throwing the football, shooting the basketball, throwing some rocks. Now that I get older, I slow down a little bit. You know what I mean? As far as like running, like, you know, nowadays it's more like work related. So I don't do that as much. And I try to show my kids as far as like sitting down and reading. I do, when I tell you I do a lot more studying now than I learned more out of school than in school. And I know that's crazy to say. I learned way more out of school than in school because now it's just like a mature thing. You just sit down, you know what I mean? Like before, I ain't sitting down and read no book, man. This book ain't real. But now, like, I don't read no fictional stories. Like, I don't read comic books and nothing like that. Like, I read, like, Steve Harvey book that I didn't finish yet, like, Think Like a Success. I actually read Donald Trump book, Think Like a Champion. And I read, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Charlemagne book, because what we doing, you know what I mean? Like, it's certain stuff that I would read or just to better myself in general, like, health stuff. But I'm not reading no hat, no Captain Hat and all that. I'm not reading
what?
Captain Hat. What's it called? Cat in the Hat. I'm not reading none of that stuff. You know what I mean? Or anything that's fictional, like those what is called them James Patterson books, or what's the other guy, Steven Spielberg books. I'm not reading none of them. Romeo Juliet. I'm not reading none of them. I'm not getting into, because it's fake. Like, I'm not even about to sit here and play myself. Like, it's not gonna better myself. It's just you might well just watch TV.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. No, that's true. That's true, because of course when you read and you expanding your vocabulary. Yeah. I mean, you learn how to read or whatever, and bettering yourself. But I'm not reading that stuff. I look for things that can better me. I mean, a lot of kids they don't tap into that. But sometimes, I mean, we strayed away from the things that made the 80s babies who they are. I mean, you're talking about people, you gotta keep in mind, all the 80 babies they was born, these was single parent homes. So how was the mom able to juggle the job, cook, attend games, still you gotta read and all that other stuff? They did it. It's more two-parent households now that I see than it was back in the day. So now it's double the opportunity to better yourselves.
Somebody said kids don't play outside either.
That's another big thing.
Soaking up what they see.
Oh my God, they do not play outside. Social media and the video games, technology screwed everything up. But at the same time, I mean,
and because of social media and all that, how much do you really want your kids playing outside? Because
that's true too.
Across the street be watching twerk videos all day.
I ain't gonna lie, I still want them to understand about the social life as being outside.
Oh yeah, you gotta be social.
Like, I want them to understand that. I want them to,
how much alone time did we have when we were younger?
Listen, as far as being outside,
outside.
Oh my God, man! Listen, your mom tell you that she just say come back at this time, before the sun hit them.
Before the street lights come on.
Right, and you don't have to come in the house. You just got to be in front of the door. You be like, hey, I'm back, bruh. We used to be downtown riding our bikes. She don't know because it was a different line of structure. You knew not to do nothing, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, you knew not to, because you knew what to expect. If you listen, man, you be scared to get your if you playing around and you fall, or jump off or something and you break your leg, you scared to tell your mom. I done seen people do that. Like, they be like, man, I ain't telling my mom, man. I need stitches. They put a Band-Aid on. Like, come on, man. Today's time, like you said, they talking back, and then kids are raising kids, man. But what's the biggest fear? You know what I mean? That goes to the next, to the other thing. What's the biggest fear?